Okay, guys, welcome to the Well Podcast, episode 4. Can you believe we're already in episode 4? We are continuing this momentum with this podcast, and I'm so excited to have a special guest today. We have Brett Oakley with us, who is a representative of ASEA. He is going to talk to us about a topic I think is so important. And I feel like I want to stay here for the next couple of episodes, and that is cellular regeneration. It's a hot topic, and there's so much information out there going around about what this is all about. But we're going to talk to an expert today, and we're going to talk to someone who has not only used his transformation and his challenges to overcome those challenges, but to also bring us some resources and tools that are going to help us. So, welcome to episode 4 of the Well Podcast, Brett.
Oh, thank you, Ame. I am honored to be your first male guest on the
Yes.
podcast, as you told me today. So thank you very much. Appreciate
You're
it.
so welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And guys, please excuse my voice. I woke up this morning sounding like a frog. I don't know what's going on. I have been singing a lot recently, so it might be that. But so happy to have you, Brett. And so, first thing I want to talk to you about is just your journey.
My journey.
Your journey towards health, towards transformation. And it always starts with a challenge, right? So talk to us about where you were before you began to find these amazing solutions.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Chicago, so I've lived my whole life there. My first 52 years lived in Chicago, and the last 10 here in the Columbus area. But I was an active athlete growing up, and I loved to play ice hockey. That was just my thing. And I was about to go into college. It was 1983, so I was actually in college, and I was playing in a men's hockey game, and we were having fun, and I got injured. I got checked from the behind and then got hit in the back, and the next thing I know, I fell down on the boards, and the guy falls on me, and something happened. And at that point, when you're an athlete and you're playing, the adrenaline is keeping you going and going. And it wasn't until the next morning when I woke up, I'm like, what hit me? And it was an injury to my lower back. And being a broke college student, I didn't have the money to really take care of it, go to the traditional medical route. So what do? I go to Walgreens, or CVS, whichever one, and just got the minimal things that I could do, like Tylenol, a Velcro back brace, Bengay. So I'm aging myself there, putting that stuff on my back, and nothing changed. It just was always in pain, and it wasn't really till about 5 years later when I was really, really feeling it that I finally learned about chiropractic work through an osteopathic doctor who literally on the floor of a basement adjusted me, and I couldn't believe the relief that I got. And then he asked me, what'd you do? And I told him, and he said, how long ago did that happen? I said, 5 years. And then he's like, 5 years? Well, I can tell because there's a lot of tightness in that lower back. And so he said it wouldn't hold, but it gave me relief on the spot. And then the journey after that was just, how do I get up every day and feel good, and without the discomfort and just the aching all day that I had. So that was my journey. And then it just was, what do I do next?
What do you do next?
What is the next thing I can do, and what will bring me relief?
Right. And there's so many people out there right now who are thinking that same thought, just right in that same place. I mean, this morning you came and you spent some time with our members of the E3 Club. And did you notice that everybody had some sort of issue that was going on with the back, with the knees, with the hips? And so a person's right there. And just talk to me about, like, when you discovered there is something wrong and it is not getting better.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like for you?
The funny thing is it was when it really, really got to me was 2009. I was literally in my bathroom in my house in Chicago, and I got a drink of water out of the sink. Growing up with being the youngest of 8, we didn't use a lot of dishes. We just pulled the sink handle and just got our mouth under the water, and I stayed. Like it just popped and it shifted and tilted, and then the swelling, and they couldn't align me for about 2 months.
Wow.
And that was probably the worst that I ever had. And at that point, it was the osteopathic doctor that I was going to finally said, you need to go to a surgeon. And so he suggested a surgeon that I go to, a top surgeon. I believe it was at Rush Hospital in downtown Chicago. And I did whatever they told me to do. I did the physical therapy. I did the x-rays. I did the MRI. And now I've got the consultation. I'm sitting in the office, and the first question he asked me is there any pain that radiates down your right leg? I said, no, it's just all focused and concentrated on the right side, just right around the tailbone. And he said, I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, what are my options? And the options he presented me with was, well, you can continue to do physical therapy, which at that point I had been doing off and on for 26 years without any, like, sometimes you get a little bit relief, but it never stuck around. Or he said, come back to me in 10 years and we'll do a fusion. And I'm like, well, why not now? He said, you're too young. So I guess in hindsight, looking back, knowing what I know now, I'm glad I didn't get that. I'm glad he wasn't one of those doctors that just perform surgery and let's see what happens. But I struggled for the next 8 years, same thing. But that was when it really, really hit me that, when a doctor that you trust, the medical field that you trust has the solutions, and the solution was come back to me in 10 years.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure if I went to another doctor, they might have done it.
Yeah.
They might have done the surgery.
Right.
And I might be on my third or fourth, surgery by this time. But thankful that I didn't have it done, and thankful that the doctor knew his limits. So.
Yeah. At least he didn't try to experiment on you.
Yeah.
As some would, and then make the issue worse.
Yeah, and that's why they call it the practice of medicine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
they practice on their patients.
This is so true. And all respect to all of you doctors out there,
Yeah.
but I do see in this time that many people in the medical field are moving more and more into functional medicine, into naturopathic medicine.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, because people are starting to realize, there is so much more in the earth. There's so much more in things that are holistic. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So take me into that place where you are now at wit's end. You're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to go through another 10 years of this? There's that desperation that I'm sure you felt desperate.
Yeah, and fortunately back in, it was like 2005, I had met a holistic doctor. I just happened to be reading a lot of books, and I always tell people that Jeff Bezos introduced us, because at that time, Amazon was just a book reseller.
Yeah.
And so I was reading a lot of books, and I got an email that said, hey, if you like this book, you're going to like this book. And it was a doctor by the name of Dr. Darren Weissman, The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude. I'm like, well, that's a cool name. I bought it and got it, and I couldn't put it down. And 3 days, took me 3 days to read it. It was over a weekend, and I wanted more.
Yeah.
And he was talking about these holistic things. He was talking about mindset. And I'm like, well, I haven't really done that. I haven't done any mindset training. So maybe that will help me. I saw his email in the back of the book. I emailed him, and not expecting to get any kind of response, just a moment at the time, I'm going to do it. And I got a response 45 minutes later.
Wow.
And he said, and basically I said, hey, I've got these conditions going on. Is there anything that you can do based on what I've read in your book that can help me? And he responded, yeah, where are you located? And I said, well, I'm on the south side of Chicago. He goes, well, you're in luck. I'm on the north side of Chicago in a north suburb. And so then I started going to him, and we did a lot of mindset work. He was chiropractically trained. He was a chiropractor, but he was also doing a lot of other functional medicine things.
Yeah.
He had done a lot of modalities and learned a lot traveling around, because just treating backs and treating, joint issues just didn't satisfy him. So he's now an expert in the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So working with him, and I got a lot of insight from him that he kind of opened that door, and like, there's more out there.
Yeah.
Just trusting somebody giving you a pharmaceutical or telling you to take this this over-the-counter medication, I never got anywhere. It
Yeah.
just was a momentary part of relief. That was just a moment.
Yeah.
So I give a lot of credit to Dr. Weissman for kind of opening that door to there's more out there.
There's always that doctor.
Yeah.
I had a naturopath, Dr. Rhymes, in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
I lived in Chicago as a young woman and had a cyst on my ovary. He put me on a 30-day juice reset, superfoods, and he told me, he said, if you don't make changes and you don't change your mind about how you want to live, by the time you're my age now, 49, you're going to have some real challenges. And so it's something when you look back, hindsight is 20/20. I'm sure you look back at that time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you just think about the way things were divinely set up to get you to your place of transformation.
Yeah, it really is because you don't think about that thing. I think a lot of times we're just conditioned by watching TV and we're seeing all these commercials that tell us that ask your doctor about this and ask your doctor about that, and then we self-diagnose ourselves, and then we think, oh well, I've got that symptom, so I need that pill, and it just really isn't the right way to go about things. But like I said, when Dr. Weissman opened that door for me, he introduced me to like other people that were doing other types of things like acupuncture and more different types of chiropractic work and naturopathic medicine and herbs and tinctures and just natural stuff that really it's been around for thousands of years. Like especially traditional Chinese medicine. That's been around, and that's what the people did. The pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry's really been only around for a little bit more than 100 years.
And there's a whole history about
there's
how that even came together. We'll talk about that another time.
Yes.
But Brett, thank you so much for just taking us into the beginning of this journey, which began with a challenge. So for those of you out there, just think about where you are and how you're trying to figure things out. And you're doing what the doctor's telling you today, like Katina, who's one of the members. I watched her go through so much pain and agony and frustration, on her journey. And then I also watched the moment when she began to take responsibility. And she said, okay, I'm working with the doctors. I'm doing some of what they're telling me to do, but I'm taking personal responsibility on this journey. I've got to find the way. And of course, we linked up. And within the Mark Total Body Wellness Network, what is so important to me is that I find solutions. And that I find solutions that sometimes I cannot provide for our clients, for our members. So partnerships, affiliations, collaborations are so important in the work that I do as a holistic wellness strategist. And let's go into now talking about finding the solution that worked for Brett. And I can't wait to tell everybody about how our story, and we'll get to that. But go ahead,
that's a fun.
That's a fun story. It's coming, so stay tuned. Don't log out yet.
So how I found this product, it's called ASEA, and so I was living in Chicago, and I finally moved. I finally decided I needed a change. I needed something different, so I came to the Columbus area. I read about it, and it was just a nice place. I think it was the 14th largest city. I came from the second city, Chicago, and I just wanted something different. I unfortunately went through a divorce, and it was like, I just want something different. So came here, and for about the first year here, I really didn't know anybody, and I found a couple of different holistic professionals, a couple of chiropractors that they can give me relief for like a day or a couple of hours. And so one day I was just like frustrated, and it was like March of 2017. I had been here for about 15 months, and I'm going to call Dr. D. That's what I called Dr. Weissman, and I called him and I just said, hey, is there anything that can help me? Do you know of anything? And he said, yeah, I found it. It's a company called ASEA. He said, I've never seen anything work like this in my life. He said, it works deep, it works at the cellular level, and it just helps your body to heal and, to repair and replace whatever is going on. And at that point, I didn't have any options, and I just had to trust him. And we had a very, very short conversation. It was very short. It was like, because he had another patient that he was dealing with. And so I just trusted him. And so I think I started on this product in April 1st of 2017. And I'll be honest, I did it, what they said on the bottle. I probably didn't take enough of it at that point, but was very frustrated because I wasn't getting the relief. I mean, there was my mindset. It's like, oh, this is going to be the magic bullet. It's going to happen overnight, and I'm going to get my relief, and my life's going to change. And it was about 4 months, and he told me, call me in 4 months. It wasn't like, take this for 2 weeks and call me. It was, take this for 4 months and be consistent. And I did that, and I called him up, and I told him, this isn't working.
Right.
He knew enough about the product and what he had noticed with his patients to stop me and say, well, what did work? And so there's a lot of things I noticed, like brain fog, clarity, being very calm, energy was better, sleep was better. You don't sleep when you have a back challenge. But the thing that made me stop to say, there's something going on here is, for as long as I can remember, I struggled with springtime allergies from April, when the grass started growing and the trees started blooming, till about July 4th. I was miserable. And it's been about 50 years. And I had been shot dependent. I tried the shots, getting 5 shots a week for many years. And I say I was Claritin dependent because that's what did it for me.
Yeah.
But in 2017, I had none of those symptoms. Like they were there, they didn't even show up. I didn't sneeze once. And I'm like, what is this stuff? What is it doing? So he knew enough that he said, your body heals in layers. So the thing that is working on right now is your immune system. So you have an autoimmune challenge with that. So that's what's working for you right now. And then as you notice, you're sleeping better, and there's other things that are going on. He said the next thing to do is just drink more of the product, because it's a liquid product. And I said, will that work? And he basically said, I don't know. Let's try. And it was within a month where I woke up and I didn't have that challenge anymore. I woke up like, this is crazy. I started to do yoga. I started to do yoga, and I did like 90 hot yoga sessions in 120 days. Wow. And I couldn't I could barely do certain things. I would have to rest but I did 90 hot yoga sessions, like I said, 120 days, and I didn't have any issues. So I'm like, wow, this works. And when it happens, it's like, you think it's, this is
real?
Is this real? So you wake up the next day and it's working, and it's the same thing. And now it's like almost 9 years later, and I still don't have any of those challenges.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that amazing? Cellular regeneration. So we're going to go into that, but I got to tell you guys the story of how Brett and I met and why he's here, because I'm not going to have anybody on this podcast that I don't trust, that I don't feel is in alignment with my vision. So let me tell you guys, I was going to a entrepreneurial group, shout out to Am Spirit, and came into this room of entrepreneurs who are collaborative, who are supportive, just such a wonderful, wonderful organization. And I met this gentleman. We ended up having, wait a minute, no, I didn't meet you there.
Not yet.
I didn't meet you there.
No.
Okay, so at the event, I got connected with Brett through someone else. They were like, you've got to meet Brett Oakley. You're going to be connected. And we went in and we had coffee.
We went to coffee at Starbucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had coffee at Starbucks, and he gave me some samples of ASEA, and we'll talk about that specific product. And I had a really, really bad injury on my toe. I mean, I stubbed my toe like I have many times in my life, but for some reason, this was a very stubborn heel. I knew it wasn't broken, but I just knew it was just stubbed really bad. So I said, let me see what this stuff is about. I'm gonna put this on there. And I kid you not, guys. I was like, what kind of juju? What is in this
Yeah.
stuff? I put it on my toe, and within minutes, I was able to wiggle my toe. I immediately text
Yeah.
Brett,
Yeah.
like, what is in this stuff?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. And then a couple of weeks later, I had I'd had some dairy, and very, very lactose intolerant. I never have dairy. For some reason, this day I had a little bit of yogurt, and instantly I just started draining profusely. Is that the word? I just all this drainage started coming out of my eyes, my nose, and I said, let me try and put a little bit of this ASEA on my nose and just in this area. I took a nap and I woke up, and my sinuses were completely clear. And I text him again, okay, Brett, like, I know you told me some elements about this, but I need you to really break this down for me because my members need this. Like the people in my community, my family, everybody needs this.
Yeah.
Very similar to how I felt when I connected with the superfood company that I'm partnered with, Purium. And I just felt that same just surge of need, that this is something that is needed in our community. So tell us a little bit about ASEA. Tell us about the product that I used.
Yeah.
Just tell us everything we need to know in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And some of the things you were talking about were familiar to me, but you took me on a deeper dive about the mitochondria and the cells. So go ahead and have the floor.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a doctor until I took science and biology, and then I didn't want to be a doctor. And then it's funny now, 40 years later, I am like in kind of the healthcare industry in a way because of my experience. And I say that because, you know, I spent a lot of time in that, I'm going to call it the sick care system because we weren't getting well. And now I'm showing people and sharing, you know, this technology. So redox is really what stands for is transfer of energy. So the way our cells communicate, our body communicates, is through cellular communication, through signaling. Our cells signal one another if there's danger, if there's something going on, if there's a problem going on, if there's a virus in the air, if there's if your body has parasites, they signal to protect one another. And so these molecules are created in every single one of our mitochondria and every one of our cells except red blood cells. Red blood cells do not have mitochondria. And so what these were once thought to be was the toxic waste product of the energy cycle or the Krebs cycle. So when you start a lawnmower, you know, the toxic waste product is the smoke, and in a cell, it's these molecules, and these molecules are reductants and oxidants. And your cell needs to have a healthy balance of reductants and oxidants to be healthy. I mean, so for instance, if a cell needs 10 reductants, it needs 10 oxidants, and that is a healthy cell. If it's imbalanced, then the cell, you know, either needs to gain an electron or give up an electron. And so your body is we're constantly right now repairing and replacing cells. Hundreds of millions of cells are dying and being replaced. And so that is what the job of these redox molecules, signaling molecules, is to repair and replace, regenerate your cells so that so that you can live optimally. You can so that you have energy, that you you can live a healthier life.
Yeah.
Most people, what's going on with them right now is like mitochondrial dysfunction, especially after the last 6 years. What we've experienced is people are just not able to get their energy back from what they experienced. They're struggling and suffering from that condition. I hate to talk about it, but that's the truth.
It's the truth, yeah. And you're talking about with what we experienced with COVID.
Yes, exactly. And so the mitochondria they're the engine of the cell, and they are the ones that produce these molecules. And when they're not working properly, they're not producing these molecules, therefore there's no energy to the cell. And so that's what happens. So when our bodies create these molecules, it's done so quickly. They're used up. Like they're done. They're like they know what to do.
Right.
We're created intelligently, that we have this intelligence that this is what our body does.
Yeah.
So to create those molecules outside the body was once thought to be impossible. But this company came around, and they were established in 2009, so it's May of 2009. But prior to that, there was a pharmaceutical lab that was trying to figure out how to do this, how to what they call stabilize the molecules, where they're just waiting to go to work. They're not like going away.
Right.
And they did it. They did it. It was an atomic molecular physicist that figured it out. He did it in 2007. So at 2007, they're like, well, we did it. Well, what do you do with it at that point?
Yeah.
So the idea was to flip it like a house. Well, let's go to a pharmaceutical company and let's sell it to them, because they've got the money and they might use it.
Right.
And what was happening at that point is the guys that had that had the product, they started making it and giving it to people, and they specifically gave it to 40 people. So they were doing their own little tests. Number one, to find out if it was safe.
Yes.
And if it was effective, and it was working on people that basically had diagnosis and stuff that, you're never going to get better. This is all we got for you. And people started getting well.
Wow.
People started getting well. And so within that time, now they invited a pharmaceutical company to take a look at it. And the pharmaceutical company, again, they said, no, you weren't able to do this. There's no way you can do this. Well, then when their scientists looked at it, they said, wow, you did stabilize this. And it wasn't just for wasn't a short period of time. The product they make now is for 21 months. So it's shelf stable for 21 months.
Okay.
So it can sit there. But once you open the bottle, it's pretty much done within a week.
Yeah.
So that was what was happening. And so the company wanted to buy it. This pharmaceutical wanted to buy it, but with the condition of, here's generational wealth. However, in order to get that check, you're going to have to give us all the product that you've created, take it away from whoever you give it to, get those people off the product. You're going to have to give us all the apparatus that you have to create the product. We want all the research that was done. And at that point, they had about 19 years worth of research. And then there was patents in there. And so they wanted everything. And so the gentleman that owned the company, Vertus Norton, basically said, will these people that have been given the product to have access to the product? And they said no. They said, no, we want to do our own studies. And basically the idea was they were going to shut it down.
Wow.
They were not going to let anybody have this product.
Look at that.
So they chose, Vertus Norton and his family chose the right way. They chose people over the product and the cash.
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. And that's one of the things that I really, really respect, Brett, just as I continue to learn more and do my own research. People need solutions out there. And so when creators of these solutions do the right thing, it really pays off in the end.
Yeah.
And right now, people need solutions. People need solutions for all sorts of health challenges, mental health challenges, which at the root is nutritional. It is cellular. And so this is really great. So tell everybody just one of the highlights that you have experienced and people that you've worked with. I mean, you guys just heard my story that just is so unique to ASEA. What makes ASEA different from any other company out there?
Well, we're the only ones, number one, with the patents. We're the only ones with this technology. So there's no competition. And what we like to say is even though we have no competition and there's no copycats out there, we're not the silver bullet that's going to do everything for you, because we have no nutritional there's no nutritional significance to this at all.
Sure.
There's nothing. It just fixes the cell. So we call ourselves the labor of the cell. So if you work this in combination of like a product like yours, Purium, you're combining the labor of the cell. If the cell's fixed and it's healed and it's whole and it's healthy, now it can absorb the natural foods and stuff that we put in our body. Not only the food that we eat, but it's high energy food like
The
Ethereum,
superfoods.
superfoods.
Yeah.
Now your body can absorb water better, and then it just starts to get better, and things start to heal. Your body starts to thrive at that point. So one of the cool stories that I had with somebody is, when I'm talking to somebody, when they're coming to me at that point, they've exhausted pretty much traditional medicine. They've tried everything. They've gone to different doctors, specialists. And I never try to convince anybody, but they've got to make their decision. I tell them about it. And I had a woman come to me. She was my age at the time. She was a former college athlete. She had just kind of got remarried, and her husband was really active. They liked to hike, and she was struggling with like inflammation, and she would be sore.
Yeah.
If she worked with you, you'd make her sore anyway, right? You get her.
A good sore.
A good sore.
And then we'll give you some ASEA and some Purium for recovery.
Exactly. So she wanted to keep up with him and not struggle with that. And as we age, right, all those old injuries come back and say, hello, remember me?
Yes.
You fell down on your bike when you were 5? I'm back. Remember me? So she had a lot of that going on. And a lot of us have inflammation in our bodies.
Sure.
But one of the things she didn't tell me was that she had 6 eye surgeries on her retinas, and at one point was told that if we had to do another surgery on her, and this was a 2-year period, like she had 6 surgeries. If they had to do it again, she would have to be prepared to go blind.
Oh, wow.
And so she called me up one day and she said, is this stuff safe for your eyes? I said, yeah, it's safe. You just spray it in your eyes. I have a little spray bottle here that you can put some stuff in and spray in your eyes. Well, the next time she went to her retina specialist, the surgeon, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Your eyes are perfect. Like they're healing. They're better.
I can only imagine, because I already know, because I've experienced it. So yeah, and I bet her eyes, just the cells in her eyes, the tissue
is just
begin to regenerate.
It gets to regenerate because it lowers the inflammation. Everything really boils down to inflammation or oxidative stress or mitochondrial dysfunction. If we can lower those markers, then your body will start to thrive.
Absolutely.
And that's the key. So that was a cool story.
That's a great
especially
story.
because she didn't share that with me until later, and it was so it was surprising to me. But the more I've been with the company and it's hearing all of these stories, and they're not all mine, and it's amazing. It's very, very because here's the thing too. We talk about this is, if our company founder decided that he was going to sell the company to a pharmaceutical, nobody gets this product, or it's so expensive that nobody can barely. And here's the key too of that is if you're a pharmaceutical company and you wanted to create that, you can only create it and prescribe it for one purpose. So we call it the 88 keys on the piano. You can only pick one key and say, okay, this is for cardiovascular use, or this is for lung issues or challenges or whatever it is.
Right.
You can only pick one. You can't use it unless you get an emergency authorization to use it for other things. And we saw what happened this past 6 years, that certain medications weren't allowed.
Yes.
But with this becoming a supplement, we just have to be very careful on what we say and how we present it, because pharmaceutical companies are the only legally can make claims. We can't make claims.
Right.
I can tell a story.
You're telling your testimonies. We're telling our testimonies. We are not making any legal claims.
Yeah, we can't make any. We don't diagnose. We don't treat. We don't.
Absolutely.
We just know that we're just giving the body a resource that it needs to repair itself. So.
I love that. And one of the things that I do want to say, Brett, is, I could feel your heart to serve. And I could feel your faith. We actually even connected on faith and, our love for Christ. And I just appreciate that when you share, you're giving knowledge. You're not just trying to sell a product. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah. And so, guys, as we close our conversation today, I just want Brett to tell us how you all can get in contact with him and get these solutions in your household, with your families. Some of your friends may have some issues. If you go down into the description, we'll make sure that you get directly connected with him. so that you can get a new resource to help you to regenerate your cells, to transform your life. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I am determined to age well. I tell you, if you don't know anything about me, you know that Wame Boyu, Coach Wha, is determined to age well. I am going to do it. And as a matter of fact, I have a reset coming up.
Yeah.
And I am going to combine the superfoods. And I am going to bring the Redox technology in as I prepare to do some things creatively. I'm getting ready to play a drug dealer who turns into a farmer.
Nice.
And she's 15 years younger than me. And so this is part of my preparation process.
Yeah.
But it's also the way that I want to age. I've let go of the processed foods and, eating certain things. I move my body every day, not necessarily trying to, lift all heavy, but functional movement. So all of these different elements in place allows me to experience aging optimally. And I'm telling you, you all out there can experience the same thing. So Brett, tell us how we can get in touch with you.
Yeah, well, it's funny. One of our doctors on our medical board says it youthens your cells. So, we're gonna get you looking like that young
15 years.
So the best way to get a hold of me is really just through my cell phone. It's the only thing that I answer to really is.
Well, tell everybody out there your phone's about to
blow
up.
Yeah, my phone number is 708-306-5179, and that's the best way. Just text me. Just tell me what you're looking to do if you want more information on ASEA. And I like that how you said it. It's like when I ask people if they've ever heard of ASEA, I always say 999 out of 1,000 have never heard of it. So I know right up front, it's all about education.
Yes.
This is not transactional. This is all about education because people need to know that there's things out there that can really help them that they haven't heard about.
Absolutely.
And we're not a pharmaceutical, so we don't do commercials.
Yeah.
We're not, again, we can't make claims, but it's real, and there's scientific backing of it. I love looking at. I think when I started on this in 2017, there was so many different articles written about it, and on PubMed there's research articles, and now we're up to almost 47,000 articles on the power of the benefits of redox molecules.
Yeah.
Not our product, but on what it's doing for the body when our body creates these molecules. But we know that our product is bioidentical. I mean, it is the same.
That is
It
amazing.
is the same as what our body creates. So
you guys are going to learn so much from Brett. So text him, okay? Blow him up. Blow up his phone. It's also going to be in the description. And he is so knowledgeable. You're not only going to have access to these wonderful products, but you're going to also get information. And he's got a lot of books and resources and things to help you all out there. And I'm so grateful that we get to be partners.
yeah,
Appreciate
thank you so much. I
friend.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you so much. Yeah.
Coach Wha.
Hey. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Well Podcast today.